With quality brand name products at affordable wholesale prices, Cash and Carry is the perfect place to shop. Whether shopping for individual, business, churches, or more, Cash and Carry is sure to meet your needs. Cash and Carry of Cookeville, 931-528-8050.
Short week for the Golden Eagles. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry, alongside the man whose name that the show is named for, Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown.
Changed it around a little bit this week.
I did. You know, you got to do that every now and then.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm your host, Buddy Pearson, and the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles head to Richmond, Kentucky on Thursday night to take on the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky in a big OVC showdown. The Golden Eagles are coming off a tough loss at home. It was the first OVC loss and the first home loss of the season against UT Martin at Tucker Stadium. And, Coach, it was just one of those nights.
Buddy, that was a horrendous night. It was raining, cold, windy. There's nobody in the stands, and we play awful. I mean, I don't know what else you can add to it. It was a tough night for us. And I thought the two things, we always break it down as much as I can, and I think not making any plays at critical times, or really any plays, period, when we had opportunity to, and the control of the line of scrimmage in the passing game. We could not protect our quarterback well enough. We couldn't get to their guy. I thought that was the difference in the game.
And the good thing is you got to have short-term memory because you're heading to Eastern Kentucky. But before we do that, we'll check out some first-half highlights. The Golden Eagles fell behind quickly but tried to battle back as we check out the first-half highlights brought to you by Wendy's Breakfast of Cookeville. It was Military Appreciation Night. The Golden Eagles in their camouflage uniforms. UT Martin comes right down, Coach, on the first series and made it look pretty easy.
That drive went 80 yards into the wind. We take the win and give them the ball, and they just took it right down the field and out-executed us. That was very poorly played right there to where they got that.
One of the storylines of the night, Jared Davis sacked 8 times.
Yeah, and most of them were protection issues. There were a couple times I thought Jared could have got rid of the ball. This is a big play in the game. This set up the 14-0 lead. And, I mean, if there's any close-up with that, you see it's pass interference.
Yeah.
We got knocked down, and the ball hit their defensive back right in the head. We got beat one-on-one on a corner out there. And now we're down 14-0.
Jared Davis showing some moves here, a 27-yard rush.
Jared, when Jared scrambles up, he's making a lot of plays. Right now, when Jared, look at that rain.
Yeah.
When Jared is going sideways, you can't see the rain on the TV. But through 3 quarters, it was just really, really a tough deal.
Davis goes up top. Brock McCoy, beautiful catch there.
Gets us back to 14-7. A wonderful hit right here by Johnny Anderson. I mean, just nails this guy.
Johnny on the spot.
Just a beautiful play. Johnny is really coming on. He's starting to play good football. He had a hamstring issue early on us in the season, but look out. I think that's one of our DBs that's going to be a special player here at Tennessee Tech as time goes on. Get the ball, take it right down the field, score again. We get back to 14-14 again. We find Brock on a little option route, and so we're in good shape. They drive back down, make it 21-14. Now this is later in the second half. Again, poor coverage. I think Stephen Bush got beat on a one-on-one, and he hurt himself right there.
Tripped over the pylon.
He was all
Too
right.
much celebrating.
They got it back on us another time and drove it down,
Great
and we hold them
fourth down
right
stop,
here.
yeah.
And punt it back down the field. We don't make first down, punt it back down the field. They fumble the ball. We get it right here. Don't do anything with it. And then they fumble us another one right before the half. Well, here it is.
Yeah, William
we,
Tanner.
we get held and we get it back. Now we end up down on the 1 yard line and go for it on the 1 yard line. That was on me. We had 3 points. We probably should have thrown a pass. That's what you do there. You don't have any timeouts. You got 13 seconds. I think you know if you hand the ball off, you ain't getting another playoff. I honestly thought we could get it in the zone. My staff is saying throw the ball and let's kick a field goal if we don't score. I'm hard-headed and I say, no, we're going to put this in the end zone. We don't. And so we lose the momentum I thought that was big. 21-17, there's some momentum coming back out in the second half.
Right.
21-14, they're flying off the field excited because we don't get any points. But we come out in the second half, take the ball right down the field and get 3 points.
Yeah, let's take a look at those second half highlights brought to you by Miller Lite. After coming out, kicking the field goal, making 21-17. Skyhawks come right back, and it was Gerard Neal to Rod Wright again, 12-yard touchdown.
And he's out of the bounds. He's out of bounds.
That's what I thought, he was out of bounds.
He did not catch that ball in bounds. You see his foot. It's if you watch it close right here, he hits the paint. You can see it on our coaching tape. We watched it today at the luncheon. He's out of bounds. This is a beautiful run by Ladarius Van Leer. You just got to keep giving him the ball sooner or later. I mean, the young man had 120 yards rushing in the game. He had 200 yards rushing. They took one away from him in the game. And,
on a, quote, hold away from the play.
Let's don't even talk about that. I'm sure they don't have that on here.
Arnold kicks that 32-yard field goal. Like you said, it's 21-17. It's a ball game at this point.
And they go back down, I think, here. And I thought the disappointing thing was that they ran the ball better against us than I thought they would from tackle to tackle.
Trent Garland.
We've got to get that corrected. That's not been us in past years, and they got us on some stretch plays in the seams a little bit, and we got to get back and do that better.
Golden Eagles trying to come back
again. Beautiful throw to Brock here. Just no consistency, buddy. What they did to us in the game, you can't sit. But then in the heat of the game, they put 8 people at the line of scrimmage and just absolutely manned up our receivers. I think they did it even more than they would have because of the rain and the wind and the cold. And we did not perform at quarterback and receiver. We could not make the plays.
Van Leer.
Here's another one of Van Leer's runs where he gets loose. Again, he had 120 yards rushing in the game. Really had 200 yards rushing if they don't call the play back that shouldn't have been called back.
Yeah. And the final score, UT Martin 31, Tennessee Tech 17. And, of course, Ladarius Van Leer, coach, like you said, 9 rushes, 118 yards. First Golden Eagle rush for over 100 yards since LD did it last year against Eastern Kentucky. Running the football wasn't that much of a problem, just 76 yards passing. Though I know you like to throw the ball a lot better than that.
We're not a 76-yard passing team, and to pass it for 76 yards when they're telling us to pass.
Yeah.
I mean, they're crowding us and saying, you're not going to let you run it, and yet we still rushed it decent but couldn't throw it very good. And, again, protection part of it, but couldn't throw and catch, couldn't make plays. We got open people, we overthrow them, or get an open guy and he drops the ball. The combination of both was a tough night for us.
And there's not a whole lot of lamenting you can do over that loss because you got to get ready for a good football team.
Well, we got the next 3 top teams in the league back to back to back. We go to Eastern Kentucky, come to Jacksonville State home, and go to EIU. This was the stretch. We played the top 4 in a row. We've played the first one of those 4, didn't win it. Now we've got to play 3 in a row, so we got to go to work.
Speaking of Eastern Kentucky and Jacksonville State, let's take a look at the OVC scoreboard brought to you by Haibu. Jacksonville State, number 1 in one poll, number 3 in another. Not much trouble, Mississippi Valley State. They beat them 49-7. Elsewhere, Eastern Illinois easily over Austin P. The Govs 0-5. That's Eastern Illinois' first win of the year. Southeast Missouri gets their first OVC win over Murray State, 27-10. And what about this score, Coach? 34-27, Kentucky over Eastern Kentucky. That game goes into overtime.
Coach, Eastern Kentucky had a 14-point lead in the 4th quarter.
Wow.
This is the best Eastern team I've played in since the early years when I first got here. I thought there were some of those now that were really good. The last 4 years, they've been good. They've been in the playoffs, I think, 3 of the 4 years. But this is their best team in the last 5 years, I think.
Yeah, and no surprise, the teams that are at the top of the OVC right now, Jacksonville State, Eastern Kentucky, those ones that you've have
Coach,
seen there over and over again.
Since we won it in 2011, it's been the 2 Easterns in Jacksonville State, and the rest of us have been trying to get back up there again, and so far nobody has. And EIU, I think, even though they started, they had a really tough non-conference schedule. But now that they're in conference play, look out. I think the top 3 are still the top 3.
Yeah, we still got a lot more Watson Brown Show coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Watson Brown Show. We can never thank our military personnel enough for their service. In this week's Golden Eagle Player Profile, brought to you by Zaxby's, we meet a young man who served his country before becoming a Golden Eagle. His name is Jacob Buttram. Take a look.
I first started playing football when I was like 5 years old. We didn't have a Pop Warner League in Scott County, so my dad would drive me and my brother to Sunbright, which is the county over, and that's where it all started, so 20 years ago. In my life would definitely have to be the men and women that have gave their lives overseas, for my freedom, because my freedom's everything to me. I joined in October 13, 2008, and I graduated boot camp 2009, and I was in tanks at first, second tanks. I was a tank operator, and then I switched over to Combat Engineer Battalion because they were having so many casualties in Afghanistan because it's the most dangerous job. And I went over there with them guys, and I wouldn't trade any second back for anything. I was over there in Afghanistan between April and October. Well, obviously it's different. football, you're having fun, but it's still camaraderie. Like, definitely this year, there's a lot bigger camaraderie than there was last year on the football team. And that's why I think we're better. And it's just different. Like out here, you're watching each other's backs in the football field, making sure you don't make mistakes. But over there, you're watching each other's backs, making sure you don't get each other killed. It's just a different level, I guess, of brotherhood. But I love both of them. I love my teammates, and I love my veterans that I started with. His name's Rusty Washam. He was a little older than me, and I was in football when he actually was killed in Iraq. And I just always remember him being proud to be a Marine and always loving it. And he actually volunteered to go back to Iraq. And when he got killed, we all went to the funeral, and it was just a big thing. And down the line, we started thinking back, and it was that's one of the reasons why we joined. Just be the best player I can be and best teammate I can be. I was trying to inspire my teammates, be the best, just go out there and help them as much as I can. Definitely have to be situational awareness. Like over here this summer in conditioning, there was guys that acted like they was going to die and like they wasn't going to make it. I'll just try to tell them, hey, there's Marines over in Afghanistan right now. It's 150 degrees. And they got 120 pounds of gear on, and they're making sure they don't die. You got it pretty good over here. You're not going to die. I know it's tough, but you can make it. Just stuff like that, pretty much. They don't understand fully, but I think they kind of understand when I say stuff like that to them.
Wow, sometimes you need somebody like that to put things into perspective.
That is the best piece we've done.
Yeah.
Since I've been here, that's my favorite one. We have so much respect for Jacob and love for him on our team. He's not a guy that's playing on Saturdays or anything yet on this team, but he'll do anything he can to help us. And he does relate some of that to the players sometimes. Yeah. I can hear him use that in different ways when they want to fuss or complain or I'm wore out or I think I'm going to die or you ain't been to Afghanistan, bud. You ain't got no clue. That is a fantastic piece.
Yeah, what a great tribute. Well, so many TTU student athletes come back after graduation and serve their community in some capacity. This week we focus on former Golden Eagleette Deanna Apple's success in our Where Have They Landed segment, brought to you by the OVC Digital Network.
My name is Deanna Apple. I played TTU basketball from 2003 to 2007. I grew up in the small town of Gainesboro, Tennessee, about 20 minutes down the road. That's where I started playing, and I played through there through high school, and then I went to Tech in college. The reason I chose to play at Tennessee Tech was basically it was a great school academic-wise, and also a good basketball program too, so it was a perfect match for me. My favorite memory at Tech would probably be just being together as a team and trying to get through tough times, tough games. When you're down, you're losing, and you're coming back. I was actually a pre-optometry major, so the same thing as like pre-med, but just for eyes. And it was tough being a student athlete, and especially going into the medical field. It prepared me a lot. Being on the road, staying up late nights studying, and got a tough game the next day, so I was well prepared to go into that type of post-collegiate studies. After Tech, I shadowed some optometrists around here in Cookeville, and I applied for optometry school, and you have to take a big test before you get, and obviously I have to pass it and do interviews, and then I went straight into optometry school. After optometry school, I graduated in May 2012, and I started working here at Mullins Vision Associates that next month, so in June 2012. So I've been here for a little over 3 years now, and I really like it. What I learned at Tech, basically discipline. In basketball, you had to be very disciplined. You had to be prepared. You had to go in and put in the effort and the work, and just having a basketball background helps prepare you for studies. And it's the same thing. You want to be disciplined and study, and you got a lot of hard tests you got to pass. Hi, I'm Deanna Apple, and this is where I've landed.
Had the opportunity to cover her in high school at Jackson County and then at Tennessee Tech. Just what a great individual, and you can see she's turned out very well.
Yeah, we've had an awful lot of classy young ladies come through our women's basketball program and through the years, and that's another great example of them. And she's worked on me once or twice too. So.
Well, the TTU volleyball and soccer teams are on a roll, and here to tell us all about it is Dylan Vazano in this week's Golden Eagle Update. Dylan.
Thank you, buddy. Well, we are right in the midst of OVC action in the fall for the Tennessee Tech athletic teams. Let's start with volleyball, where they earned themselves a hard-fought victory this past Saturday in a battle against Southeast Missouri. Golden Eagles won in 3 sets, but you take a look at the scores: 25-23, 26-24, and then 27-25. This is about the portion of the Golden Eagle Update where we tell you about senior Cody Dodd. Another great effort for the Cookeville native. She had a match-high 18 kills, a double-double with 19 digs as well. Junior setter Sharon Anderson, who took home OVC Setter of the Week honors, had 41 assists and 14 digs for a double-double as well. Shifting gears, we're going Tech soccer. If it's not already, the Golden Eagle soccer team is officially a thing. It was another OVC conference match, another OVC victory. Tough conditions Friday evening against Eastern Kentucky. It was muddy, it was sloppy, it was raining, it was even pouring. That didn't keep, though, the Golden Eagles from scoring. A season-high 3 goals as part of a 3-0 victory against Eastern Kentucky. They are now 3-0 in the OVC. That's the first time since 2000 and the 3rd time in program history. Up next for the Tech soccer team, they will head up north. Matchups this weekend against Eastern Illinois and SIUE. They are currently tied for first place. Buddy, that's the Golden Eagle Update. Let's send it back over to you.
All right, thanks, Dylan. We've still got more to come here on the Watson Brown Show, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
In the NCAA Division I Football Championship Subdivision, the game is played with perseverance, integrity, passion, character, and sportsmanship as he works to honor the game and respect his teammates, opponents, officials, and fans. Every FCS player grows in his responsibilities as a student athlete and as a member of his campus and community. The NCAA Division I Football Championship Subdivision. Every down, every day.
The Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. You know, it's time for our Kids Corner, brought to you by Pepsi. This week, Lanier Lee is in the hot seat. Take a look.
Is Tennessee Tech cool?
Tennessee Tech, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a nice vibe to it. I like the coaches and people and everybody. That's one of the main reasons I decided to go here.
Is your coach cool?
Yeah, Coach Watson Brown, he's a real cool dude. He's real funny. He can relate to the players a lot, and it's fun playing underneath them.
Is it hard to make a touchdown?
Well, playing defense is kind of hard to make a touchdown. So, yeah.
Does a helmet save your life?
It does. It does. For how fast we go and hit each other, as big as we are, it's important that we wear a helmet and all our safety equipment.
Do you guys win a lot of games?
Well, that's the goal each and every year. And this year we're looking to win a lot of games. We have a good team this year.
Is football your favorite sport?
I would say so. Yeah, football is my favorite sport.
Can you teach me football?
Anytime. So, Robert, what's your favorite football team?
Eagles.
Oh, you're an Eagle fan. What grade are you in, Robert?
Third.
Third. Do you have a favorite college team?
Tech.
A real cool dude.
Real cool dude.
Yeah, I think I'll start
I'm a dude.
introing you as a real cool dude.
I'll be next week. Real cool dude sitting here next to me.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, buddy. Lanier's getting better, isn't he? He's starting
Yes.
to play well.
He played really
hurt
good.
all last year.
Yeah.
He was a sophomore. Now he's a junior, and I can see him getting better every week. He had him an interception that he would have taken away. I'm not sure he'd outrun everybody to the goal line, but he's getting better each week.
With TTU celebrating its centennial, we focus each week on a special moment on the Golden Eagle gridiron. This week, it's Murray Cunningham's longest field goal in school history.
In the early part of the Ohio Valley Conference schedule of 1974, Tennessee Tech faced a crucial game against rival Western Kentucky, one that drew 12,000 excited fans to Tucker Stadium for the league showdown. It proved to be one of the best defensive battles in Tech history, with the Golden Eagles holding the Hilltoppers to only 9 rushing yards, 4 first downs, and 6 points. But the Golden Eagle offense also found the going tough, so it was the strong leg of kicker Murray Cunningham that was the key to the 10-6 Tech victory to remain unbeaten in the OVC. With 10 seconds to play in the first quarter of a scoreless game, the slender Cunningham delivered the longest field goal in school history, nailing a 53-yard kick for a 3-0 lead. He added a point after following a 31-yard scoring run by Terry Johnson, the only touchdown of the game. Cunningham's record 53-yard kick has been tied but never topped and still stands today 41 years later as the longest field goal in Tennessee Tech history.
Coach, I know we've got a kicker who's got a pretty good leg too. I wouldn't be surprised to see John Arnold kick one 53 yards.
I would like for it to be the winning kick, 53-yarder. That'd be neat, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But, John's kicking well right now. He's making all of his kicks, and he hadn't had a real deep one yet, but he's doing a good job.
Would you send him out there for a 53-yard
Nope.
field goal?
There better be a strong wind blowing if I will send
Unless
him
there
out
was
there
nothing
for a
else
53.
going on.
You
yeah.
asked me, I give you the right answer.
Well, the Golden Eagles have a short week and have to hit the road by traveling to Roy Kidd Stadium in Richmond, Kentucky to take on the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky. Coach, last year it was a great football game here at Tucker Stadium. It was blackout. The Golden Eagles beat Eastern Kentucky, one of the best wins of the season, and I'm sure the Colonels are going to be looking for a little payback this week.
I don't think they'll forget it, and it's a blackout up there, so they're returning the favor.
Wow.
When we're going to a blackout night, and there will be a better crowd for sure because it's a Thursday night game. There will be students in town, and so I expect a big crowd coming off of a tough loss, but a confidence-building loss to losing to Kentucky in overtime. I told you earlier in the show, I think this is the best Kentucky team that I've seen in the last 5 years. When we've been playing them, and we're 2-2 in the last 4 years with them. But this is, I think, the best team. A year ago, Ladarius Van Leer just had an unbelievable game, and I think our defense got 7 turnovers. I think we had 3 fumbles and 4 interceptions.
Marty
I may
Jones
be wrong.
had 4
Marty
interceptions.
had 4 interceptions himself.
Right.
So I mean, we couldn't play much better than we did, and still it was a very close game. Every year, just the 2 teams every year since I've been here that are always the best looking teams in our league are Eastern Kentucky and Jacksonville State. and we play them back-to-back in a row coming up right now.
As we said earlier in the show, Ladarius Van Leer rushed for 140 yards. You know, might need that again against the Colonels. He's certainly coming off a 118-yard performance against UT Martin, so I'm sure he'll play prominent in the game plan.
We've said it all year, just give it to him enough and let him get loose twice. And if we get him loose twice, we're going to have some nice long runs, and you can see there. I think that was the one that finally put the game away. And like I said, I think they were ranked in the top 10. No, that wasn't the one, I guess, that put the game away. That was during the time. There's another one of Marty's.
On a short week like this, Coach, you know, how do you get the team ready? I mean, you come off a tough loss. You've got to go face a team that took Kentucky to overtime. How do you get the team ready?
I've done a lot of this because we did this in Conference USA. We played a lot of Thursday night, Friday night games and have short weeks to do it. And there's a plan that I like to use. We do not put the pads on at all. We don't lift weights this week. I always feel in the short weeks you need to do two things. They need to know what to do, and they need to be as fresh as they can possibly be. Yeah. So a lot more time off the field with them, less time on the field. Get our heads up. We ought to be the one that's angry and ready to go because we just kind of laid an egg last Saturday night and just didn't put it together very well. And I think our team will respond to that.
Kickoff's at 6 p.m. at Roy Kidd Stadium. Coach, wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, buddy. Let's go get 'em.
All right. For Watson Brown, I'm Buddy Pearson. We'll see you next week on The Watson Brown Show.
The Watson Brown Show has been brought to you by IWC Cash and Carry, Zaxby's, Wendy's Breakfast of Cookeville, Miller Lite, Hibu, and Pepsi.
With quality brand name products at affordable wholesale prices, Cash and Carry is the perfect place to shop. Whether shopping for individual, business, churches, or more, Cash and Carry is sure to meet your needs. Cash and Carry of Cookeville, 931-528-8050.